Hello and welcome to the Every Other Saturday podcast for episode 38 of our weekly podcast here on YouTube and Spotify. It's been a really eventful few days since our reaction against Celtic. We were all just buzzing about that, and then this whole stuff with the Super Leagues came out. So the majority of the episode will be based on our thoughts about the Super League and the way football's going. Well, I'll touch on the Old Firm game before we do so with that, and then we'll look at the two St Johnstone games coming up this week as well. Give our thoughts and opinions, team predictions for that one. So, if you enjoy the podcast, if you're listening on Spotify and such, share it about. When do you think you might like it? And if you're watching here on YouTube, if you would subscribe to the channel, like the video, and follow the socials that'll be on the screen, that'll be very much appreciated. So, now that we've got the intro out the way of the podcast, the Old Firm game happened, obviously Sunday, one we were all looking forward to, probably the biggest game of the season, as we all said at the time. Pretty convincing, you would say, in parts, 2-0. Celtic haven't scored against us again, so that I think one goal they've scored against us since the 2019 game at their place. And then obviously they scored the last game as well. But before that, it was up to 2019 before they scored against us. Mm-hmm. Unbeaten in 5 Old Firm derbies now, Gerrard and Rangers. So obviously promising signs there. But is there anything else you would like to touch on with the Old Firm game? Because obviously it's a great occasion to go and get a result in. And I think it once again shows our dominance, not only in Scotland, but against Celtic and Old Firm games as well.
No, definitely agree with you on that. Probably we'd like to be honest with you, maybe obviously we had a bit of issues trying to get a reaction recorded, so probably couldn't get a full on reaction. But I would just didn't get enough time to spend on, for me, Joe Rabel's performance. I just thought Joe Rabel just bossed that game, man. He really showed he is a top player for me in that game. I know everyone was going on about McGregor with the save and Davo, which were tremendous performances, but I think Joe, for me, just stole the show. Even just throughout the game for me, man, he was fantastic. Yeah, as I was about to say, even though I was calling for the likes of Scott Wright to be playing, obviously out in the right, but as we were saying, I just enjoy watching Joe Aribo play there more often, and I would like to see him out there for me personally more often. What about yourself here?
I feel it was quite good to mention Joe Aribo's performance because I think it maybe went under the radar. He created both the goals. He was great on that right hand side, and I think a lot of Rangers fans before coming into the game didn't want Joe Aribo to play if it wasn't out there, because you've seen sometimes in the midfield in Old Firm games he has got bullied, he's got overrun a few times with whoever's playing for Celtic in there, but out in the right seems to be where he does the job better. I don't know about yourself with that one, but I like him out better out there. I think he's a really attacking player. He can provide so much cutting in for that side as he did with both the goals. And great performance for Joe Aribo, probably one of his best against Celtic for Rangers, in my opinion. And I think he is the one maybe going forward now for the Scottish Cup run anyway that will start out in that that right hand side with Arfield coming into midfield. He was all right at times, Arfield, getting a full 90 minutes in an Old Firm game as well. It's good for him. So I like Joe Aribo. And for you, do you prefer him out there on the right?
I mean, that's what I said to you. I prefer him out there on the right. That's what I'm saying. I just prefer him out there, as I said. Like, obviously, I was calling for Scott Wright to be playing that game. I think when we come on to the St Johnstone game, for me, I think Scott's going to play this game. But just for me, I prefer Joe out there. As we said at obviously the time we were talking about like Braga and that, like, he play left back. He could honestly, like, for me, Joe could play numerous positions, but for me, I prefer him there. Obviously, for Arfield, get a full 90 is important because we're going to miss Ryan Jack. We're without Ryan Jack probably for the rest of the season. So that's a shame, man. That's the one that hurts the most for me. Is just that Jack's not going to get to play the season out. Also, still be a part of celebrations, but that's the one for me that hurts the most.
Aye, I was quite hurt by Ryan Jack being out for the rest of the season. Obviously, misses the Euros, which would have been big for him. With Scotland, he must have been waiting his whole life for that to be able to play in that tournament. So it's hard one to take for Ryan Jack, but I feel he's that kind of player. He'll come back stronger next season, even more. I feel like he puts his injury woes behind him this season and hopefully has a strong campaign next year, because we need him. he's clearly one of our best midfielders.
Aye.
And he's shown time and time again why Gerrard is stuck behind him, whether it be injury issues, or when he gets sent off all the times throughout Gerrard's first season and that. So, Ryan Jack again, one you feel it for, but he'll be back next season, I feel. And I don't know if there's anything else to really touch on the Old Firm game. I mean, Morelos was maybe a bit suspect in the
This
game.
is what I'm on about. Aye, but still for me, his link-up play, as I say, helps Joe get the ball in. For me, his link-up was thing. We always right, he wasn't doing it probably as much as he does in other games, but I don't know. He's got his goal. That's the main thing. I don't really care, to be honest with you, about what else he does in these games, but he's got his goal now for him, so I don't really care. You can say what you want about him in these games, but I thought his link-up playing that was fantastic. Obviously, he was sulking when he was coming off, same as usual, but you love it for the boy. You could say maybe he was unlucky with the rebound shot, but couldn't really do much with that one. But for me, I'm just happy he got his goal in the last Old Firm, so that's about it for Alfredo.
Aye, just the reason I brought up his performance at the weekend, although he was good linking the play, he got Aribo and stuff moving for the first and second goal. He's good at doing that this season. I just feel that maybe his presence in front of goals missed at times. Although we didn't have massive opportunities in the game to go and for him to do, but maybe the one where it rebounds to him, maybe it's a bit fast and you're expecting just like a snapshot at it. But I feel that at times questionable, looked a bit lazy at times to run for the ball. I don't know. He was good at linking the play though. I have all the love in the world for Morelos. He got his goal, obviously the last Old Firm, which we all wanted. But maybe
Who
if
was
the
he picking a
result,
fight with? Who was it? Who was picking a fight with? Was it that Elanusi, wasn't it? Whatever his name is. That boy
Can't
that's
even
for
remember anymore.
Southampton, honestly. Like, no, the two of them were pushing and shoving each other. I remember, but that was I think I was in the box, or I think it was just some decision. But I remember the two of them pushing and shoving each other.
Uh-huh.
But no, it's just I agree. I see what you're saying, mate. But just for me, I'm just happy to get his goal, man. At Celtic Park, I don't really care what he does at the remainder in these ties. To be honest, he's got his goal. Maybe add a couple more, obviously. But I see what you're saying, 100%. I thought Keymore came on. Keymore was a bit more fresher and seemed a bit more up for it, in my opinion. But it's what it is, mate. We're through in the next round. That's the main thing, isn't it?
And that is exactly it. We can mumble and grumble about anything that we don't like in these games or we love, but at the end of the day, we get through. We've done what we had to do. The performance didn't really need to be there. As long as we get the result, it was there. It was over the line. We beat our rivals again. We've ruined their season, trophyless for them. So the question is now: do we go on and we must win this cup now?
Yeah, we must, mate. But we know beforehand that we're supposed to do it. That we sometimes we don't. Obviously that Hibs game, but I think this season we're more likely going to do it. Hopefully, you don't want to obviously curse it, fingers crossed. But I definitely feel like we can do it this season. St Johnstone will be a difficult game, obviously. But hopefully we can get there and do it, mate. That's the main thing.
No, that is the main thing. Obviously, we'll talk about that at the end of the episode with the two games coming up against St Johnstone. But now on to the big thing that's happened in world football this past few days. Ever since that game finished, actually, at the weekend, all it has been is Super League this, Super League that. So I'm pretty sure everybody that listens to the podcast or is listening right now will know what this is. You'll all be involved in football, you know. The Super League. Where do we start on this? Where do we
You
start?
might not be if you're. Well, you might not be involved in football if you're 16 to 24, because apparently 16 to 24-year-olds do not like football. They find it boring. So, I
And
mean,
the best
that
player on the
is,
planet is Haaland, and he's 20, and Mbappe is 22. Where did they get that sort of nonsense from?
I don't know, mate. But apparently, me and you are only football fans, so apparently we find it boring and that game should be shorter. Never felt like that in my entire life. Even when we're playing Hamilton away, I've never felt that it should be a shorter game of football.
No, not once.
These nutters, man. They're absolute nutters.
But right, so the whole thing is right. These owners of these clubs, we're majority going to be talking about the Premier League clubs. Obviously, Liverpool were playing last night. Liverpool are in a race for top four. They were needed to beat Leeds. But you look at that game last night and just wonder why do they need to win any games anymore if they've signed up for this? Their official Twitter accounts have came out with the statements that they're going to be founding clubs of these things, right? So the Super League looks like it's definitely in the works, ready to happen. The funding is there for, what is it, JP Morgan, the American bank, that are going to fund this, going to give each team 3.5 billion to spread around themselves, build a team. So it's heavily funded. The owners of the clubs agreeing with John Henry at Liverpool, obviously. Even Gazidis at AC Milan, Stan Kroenke at Arsenal, the Glazer, Joe Glazer at Manchester United, have all sat down whilst in a worldwide pandemic and sat down and talked money. Well, other teams, even in our own country, have been struggling for finances. You've seen the bottom leagues were shut down due to not being able to afford COVID tests every single week for players to play the league safely and stuff like that. And you've got these people not consulting the club in any way, or just doing their own talks for more money to line their own pockets, which just doesn't sit right at all with me. They're ripping away the game that we all knew and loved, and they're stripping it back into something that we don't even recognise anymore. You just look at some of the things. I'm a Liverpool fan as well. Like, if anybody that watched the podcast didn't know that, I'm a Liverpool fan as well. I've followed them pretty much all my life along with Rangers, and just everything that Liverpool stand for, like the "you'll never walk alone," the fact that their stadiums in council houses, around council houses built up by the working class and communities and stuff like that, to then turn into something like this is just absolutely disgusting, in my opinion. Same to Man United as well. Obviously, Liverpool, Man United, two of the biggest clubs in the world, and the fact that they are going to sell their soul for money and ruin all these years of history, legacy, rivalry they've had, battling each other over the years, and for money, like, really. What I'll come to you. What is your thoughts and opinions on either what I've just said or just in general yourself?
Well, what I would think about what you've said there, mate, is this isn't Liverpool, this isn't Manchester United, this is their greedy American owners, and this has always been my problem. I don't care. Americans don't understand what football means to people throughout the United Kingdom and throughout Europe. Do you know what I mean? This is something you're born with, man. This is something, obviously, as male or female, that, you know what I mean. For me, it was my dad and that. You know, they put the ball to your feet and you fall in love with this game. All right. Members of my family may support the other side in Glasgow. I chose to go the other way. I chose to follow Glasgow Rangers because best team in the world. But this is not people who love football that are making these decisions. This is greedy American businessmen who want to make it like the American sports, where it's all the top teams playing each other. I mean, first off, we're talking top teams. How are Spurs in there? What have Spurs done to be in here? Spurs ain't a top team. What have Spurs actually done?
I know.
When was the last time they won something? But for me, man, it's just greedy gangster like businessmen who just want to make massive amounts of profit and don't care about the fans. You're hearing the Real Madrid boys say that they don't care about the lifelong football fans. 16 to 24-year-olds don't watch football. Do not care about your core football fans is disgusting, man. As I say, I think about my relatives down in Leeds who've handed out flyers, have handed out programmes, who've hung with the club, and for him to just like spit on those kinds of people, spit on the people of Liverpool who've followed the club for how long. It's just, for me, it's disgusting, man. I'm the one that I was most shocked at, to be honest with you, is only because like we got to go there because obviously our school trips there, and you would see like actually what's going on in Manchester and Manchester City for me, and it was like, wow, they are actually doing stuff in this community and things like that. But for them to be a part of this, man, that for me, I know for some it might not be a shock, but for me, man, it was just like, wow, like they are trying to build up a good reputation, a good hang with their area, and they've just spat on that really just to go and do this. For me, it's just disgusting, man. Profit before the fans is just ridiculous.
I agree with everything you're saying. Me and you are going to be in the same boat with this, is along with everybody else, Gary Neville, everybody who talks about this. Like, I think the more we talk about it, the more we get our opinions and voice our opinions out there. I feel it will hopefully start a sort of revolution to take these people down in a way. Like, these people can't sit there and make this like the American League, because it's nothing like it at all. Like, they'll just want to make it into a franchise, and like, I just don't understand it.
But this is what I'm saying to you, man. Like, I'm not saying that. I don't know. I just feel like I can't be bothered with Americans talking about football. Do you know what I mean? I really can't. I just, maybe that's not the right thing me, but these people are an example, man. They don't. What was it? One of the Glazers didn't understand. But I think it was like I think it was. I don't know if it's the offside rule or something. It took him 2 years to understand a rule of like thing with football, which is just. I mean, these people are just disgusting in my opinion. They've always been disgusting. You have channels like Arsenal Fan TV and all those kind of channels that go on about their owners and how disgusting they are. I think for me and you, we've actually obviously we grew up with Rangers just winning, and then we've had to watch our club rebuild itself and come back up. It was it's the fans that make football. That's what we all can agree on and we're all about. I'll be honest with you, I didn't agree with it last night when Jurgen Klopp decided to have a go at Gary Neville and all this. I didn't agree with what he was saying. I understand he's a man that's getting put under the fire line. He's angry. He's just as upset as all he is. Like, he's getting straight put on the fire line, which maybe I know you were saying to me it's a bit unfair and all that on him, but I just feel like it wasn't fair to just go and target Gary Neville or Leeds like Hingme for obviously the thing that was happening outside the stadium. That was Leeds and Liverpool fans. So I don't know, man. It's a heartbreaking time, man, as a footballing fan. Obviously, with like Sky and all that, and Jamie Carragher said it perfectly about them being hypocrites and things like that. But I just feel like I don't even know, man. I feel like it's going to happen, man. I don't think there's no stopping it now. I think that these men are greedy. It's like mafia gangster stuff, man. It really is. Do you know what I mean? But people are just, I don't know, man. I'm just really can't believe it, mate. I
No.
feel for future football fans. They want. Do you know what I mean? I just can't believe it, man.
Really emotional time to be a football fan. Obviously, reading up on it, that UEFA and whoever it is are not going to let the players play in their respective international tournaments, the Euros in the summer, which that is at in jeopardy now for some teams. The World Cups that will be coming up, if they agree to play in this, no longer will be able to play in it. The Champions League, the Europa League that are already still continuing. We watched Arsenal beat the Racists last week 4-0, and what does that mean anymore? Like, the Champions League, Europa League could be just called to a close, and whoever is left at that point. So it's just been an emotional time to be a football fan, I think.
Definitely 100%. But this is what I'm on about as well. They're just as bad, and they're in some lights for me. Them and the Premier League have abused their powers. You know what I mean? Like, we know how they corrupt FIFA and all that are, and they've known that this is going to happen. I don't know, man. That's just for me. And as Patrick Bamford said last night, the reaction when people try to take money out of their pockets, but when there's a racial issue, we'll take as long as we hang. That to me is disgusting.
That's what I was actually going to touch on.
This is the way it should have been for when what happened to Glenn Kamara. That's the action should have been straight away with that. But no, because there was no money coming out of their pockets, they didn't care. So
I feel like that's a really important thing to take away for last night. Patrick Bamford, fair play, honestly. Great interview he gave. Pretty honest. Just a down-to-earth guy by the sounds of it as well. I do agree with him, and I sympathise with Glenn Kamara. He must look at this news with UEFA. He was waiting weeks and weeks to find out what would happen due to him being racially abused. You've seen the uproar it caused, but it didn't cause enough uproar to obviously get UEFA involved quicker. You've seen literally hours after this Super League announcement was made, UEFA were out in their numbers, throwing money about, saying, "Oh, we're suing you, we're suing you. Like, you're not allowed to play there. Like, you're not allowed to do this." But total silence for at least 3 weeks after the Slavia Prague game. We finally found out last week what was going to happen to the players and all that. So disgusting, in my opinion. If you look at it that way, we follow a club that's had that abuse targeted at us, and we were all waiting on answers. But I just found that I agree with Patrick Bamford. As soon as money was involved, UEFA were out. But I think that just clearly shows again they don't care about racism. It will always be a token gesture just to make their competitions look good and all that. They don't actually care when issues and matters will happen within their competitions, which I still find laughable, to be honest with you. But that's obviously a different story for a different day when we go into racism and all that. But UEFA, they seem to be trying to take the high ground and play the victim, but they're hypocritical. Along with Sky Sports News, as you say, watching that game yesterday, everybody wanted to hear from Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher on the issues, and they were sort of marketing it like, "Oh, don't miss this," like as if Sky haven't been doing the same thing for years and years, sucking money out and giving money to teams for like ludicrous amounts. Like you see the golfing finance up here, like for Rangers games and Celtic games, it'll be on Sky compared to whatever is on the Premier League. It's massive. We can't compete with that, and they've funded that with so much money now that we can't do anything towards English clubs. They're just getting millions and millions, and I feel like it's hypocritical to Sky to come out and sort of make a stand against us now.
But this is what I'm saying. Up here is about passion. It's about pride of your team. Do you know what I mean? Not about the money. And how long have the people down in England and that or wherever have said, "Oh, your league's not like is glamorous or what have you? Is the league down there? It's not about being glamorous or anything like that. It's about football. You know how many of there, as they say, like we've seen players for their leagues come up here and struggle. You look at Joey Barton, obviously in recent times, struggled, couldn't handle it. So for me, it's just one of the, and I know they're all well, if all these 6 teams go, all get Rangers and Celtic, I don't want any part in your Premier League whatsoever. I don't want to be in like that. You know, I'm proud of my club for the fact that we've come back and we've won a 55th title and we've got a manager in Stevie Gerrard, who people laughing at us at the time for having, who ruled, he can't hang with underhang, so how's he going to do it at the big time? I'm proud of the journey that as a club that we've went on to get back to where we belong. So for me, it's just one of the things where I don't want anything to do with it. I don't care about how glamorous you are. Football's not about money and all these things. It's about fans. It's about, you know, the lesser fixtures. They're trying to say, no, people don't want to watch Man United and Burnley. Man United are the reason why they're making money, which I obviously, the way I look at that is the same with Conor McGregor or anything like that. When any of these big fighters have a fight, you're watching that fight because of the big fighter. So I can agree with it on that point. But for me, I don't know, man. It's just a crazy time at the moment. I think it's just important that all football fans stick together just to protect their game. I seen everyone praising James Corden for giving his opinion on an American talk show. Well, why did he not just stick with League of Their Own? He done the exact same thing here. He jumped ship to go and get more money and go and be pals with Beyonce and Justin Bieber and all that. So I don't really want to hear from him. Do you know what I mean? Away you go and shut your old pie or something. Do you know what I mean? You wanted to stay over and have a proper, and we stay in League of Their Own. Do you know what I mean, or something? I don't know, but I think it's hypocritical for people like that to come out and be hanging. You've just done the exact same thing these football clubs are trying to do. You've jumped over there to get more money and all that. I mean, I'm disgusted with Real and all that. They know that how much they're in debt and they can't afford to bring the best players in and like Mbappe or in Haaland. That's really what it's about. They see that the English teams are getting more, obviously, more financially or more secure than them or whatever. I don't know. It's disgusting. I'm disgusted with, like, obviously teams like Atletico and that, like, sold their soul when they moved the stadium for me. Not the same football club that claimed to be underdogs. They're not that anymore. The other Real Madrid and Barcelona to just jump on a ride like that, like, to me, it's disgusting. I want to hear Cristiano and Messi talk out. Come on, I've heard Zlatan say something. I agreed with what Zlatan said. I think Ander Herrera was one of the first players to come out and really say something. You can clearly sense that the players don't agree, but they don't want it. It's just big businessmen trying to get a payday in a pandemic to use the pandemic and that's just disgusting, man. We're all struggling, but for me, football fans just need to stick together, man, and make sure this doesn't happen.
Nah, very passionate. I can hear it in your voice when you're talking there.
I'm a passionate guy, Jack.
Just touching on a few things that you said, like the Real Madrid and Barcelona stuff, it doesn't surprise me one bit that Florentino Perez is the man trying to sort this all out, because Barcelona and Real Madrid are in so much debt. They can't compete with teams in Europe anymore. You see, they're both dumped out, actually. You know, Real Madrid are still in it, actually. But looking very unlikely they may win the tournament. The way it is, I feel Man City, PSG, one of them will end up winning it if it still goes through. But Real Madrid, they've got an aging squad now. They've sold Ronaldo. They've not been the same since. Barcelona, you look at the state of their team nowadays, it's like compared to the team we grew up watching, it's just nothing.
That's
They're in
what I
billions
was.
and billions of pounds a day. So to do this sort of thing, to guarantee them European competition all the time, to get them hundreds of money, that doesn't surprise me one bit, to be honest with you, for the two of them.
No, but that's what I was about to say there, mate. It's just that even though when we were younger, obviously there was money in it. But man, I just think about the beautiful football like we got to see. You know, like Guardiola's Barca side, man. Anytime you watch that side, you were in love with football. Obviously, the likes of Iron Robin and all those great players. Like, obviously, you're younger, you're in love with the game. You're not in love with a club because of the amount of money they've got. I just think it's, and the audience that they're clearly catering to is not an audience that is it? Let's put it like that. But for me, just to say that your young fans and your core fans and all that don't really matter. It's just disgusting, man. I love talking to older fans who've been at clubs, you know, followed clubs longer than us, and hearing the stories of like game days that obviously were massive in club history and things like that. I love hearing their opinions and how it was then. But just for me, man, it's just disgusting. It just really is.
No, it is. And just what you were saying about the Man United, the whole pay-per-view saga as well for this season, where the Premier League were charging 15 quid a game. Like, I look at that. Like, obviously, we've been pretty fortunate to watch Rangers on Sky and whatever else. Like, we've not had to really cough out with hundreds of money. I don't mind supporting the club, but I paid my season ticket in full this year as well, to be able to go and watch all the games in the telly. So I had that privilege, obviously. But any extras that came with that, I would happily, willingly pay money to watch Rangers against anybody. Like, I paid for Rangers to watch Cove Rangers, but there's Man United fans, like their whole thing is, oh, who really wants to watch Man United v Burnley? Like, Man United fans definitely will. Like, I'm a Rangers fan, obviously. We're Rangers fans. We don't care about who we're playing. We just want to watch Rangers. So where is the Man United fans, the core fans that would pay anything or watch anything to do with Man United? I think Man United's just a complete tourist club, for top to bottom these days. That's the honest truth for me, anyway. You see it
But the
at
top
Old
six, aren't
Trafford
they?
and that. I feel like the top six in
The
general have all sort of
top six, man. That
transcended into that.
But that video you sent us the other day with that lad, it was it Redmond TV or whatever that talked about it a couple of years back. Like, spot on. Majority of clubs, the top six, those clubs are tourist clubs. We, like, also the school that we went to, we got to go to City games. Do you know what I mean? Because it was like a school trip thing. You know what I mean? Like, City, I'm not saying City can't fill the ground because they can. They do have genuine fans there. But like, they do also do give tickets away to like schools and all that to fill it up to make it look like it's a thing. You know, that's why we got to go and see Barcelona, go and watch a boring 0-0 draw with Real Madrid. You know, the Liverpool games and that. So I don't know, man. I feel like all those clubs are touristy kind of clubs. They're not, you know, proper clubs like maybe you could say like your other teams in the Premiership are like us. But I don't know. I to just say that, oh, nobody wants to watch like a Man United play a Burnley or like us play a Hampton or anything like that. Like, I don't really care, as you're saying. Like, it's about watching my team and when my team are playing, and that's the worrying thing is where this thing is. Say after all the uproar that thing is and it still goes ahead, fans are probably going to still gravitate towards it because it's their club. So that's the scary thing for me, man. I don't know about
Mm-hmm.
yourself in it.
I think that is the hardest thing to take for it, because like, we're here, we can't say that if Rangers weren't involved in this, we would just cut ties and never watch them again. It's going to be a really hard, a really hard thing for football fans across the globe to be able to go and not support their club or not watch their club in games like this if it does go through. So I feel like that is needed to happen, though. I feel like if this goes through, don't watch any of the games, don't pay for merchandise, don't support it in any way, because we don't want it at the end of the day. Nobody wants to see, for years and years to come,
But
Barcelona v
that's
Man City on repeat every single season. That's a gift we get with the Europa League and the Champions League. Sometimes we get really good glamour ties like that, and it's good to watch. We don't want it every year.
no, but that's what I'm on about. Look at the Paris and Bayern Munich, two legs there in the hangman. That was football at its highest level. That was sensational football. But as I say, it is hard for, as you're saying, with fans to not support the clubs like that. It's hard for them not to, especially when it's, you think about the lockdown, mate. I think about it, if it wasn't for football, God knows, you know what I mean? Football got, I would say, a lot of football fans through this, just getting to watch their team and still having that privilege. But for me, it's a difficult time for fans not to say to them, "Oh, don't hang me," because it means so much to so many people. But I just, as I'm saying, it's just these big businessmen who just want to make these deals and they don't care about. Imagine not to say to your manager, your players, listen, we're thinking about doing this kind of thing, and just to go behind their back and just do it anyway. That's, to me, that is just disgusting. These people, as I say, it's not Liverpool, it's not Manchester United, it's these sleazy business American businessmen who think that they run that club. They don't run it. They're just taking care of it. They're just making sure that the fans can get to go. They're paying all the whatever. But I don't know, man. I'm just really disheartened by it all.
Aye, and that's what it is. All these owners, they just want to get the most money as they can. Like an Arsenal season ticket's upwards of £1,000 or something like that, to go to there for a season. Like crazy money Stan Kroenke's charging his fans to be able to go and support. It was nice to see Rangers froze their season ticket prices for this season. I thought that was a really good gesture, actually, because to be honest, Rangers could have charged as much money as they wanted. Everybody would want to go after the season we've had, but the fact that they kept it the way it is, that shows what my club is like. I'm really happy about that. But I think, as you say, we're all disheartened by it. We're all wanting the truth. We're all thinking it's killing the game. This whole Super League stuff. Like, just give me 3 o'clock. It's Saturday, going on the bus with everybody, at the pub, whatever. Like sitting on a bet. On you go home, get a chippy on the way home. That is football for me. Like going to the game on a Saturday. Like, although it won't affect us up here directly, like looking at that for a lot of other fans, obviously in the UK, it's going to impact everything they're doing. And I feel like maybe the pandemic at the start of it was maybe like your football team's being took away from you. How do you deal with that? And a lot of people were really hurt by that. Me and Cody, that it was weird not going to Rangers games all the time, not having any watching football. And then when it came back, it was just relief. I'll watch any game at that point. Like I had anything on the telly when it came to restarting the Premier League, the Champions League, and whatever. But I feel like that was maybe the start of it. Like, what do you do? How can you cope without your team? And then maybe if the Super League happens, how do you cope once again?
Exactly, mate. And I'll say this, there's a reason why Rangers fans sing that the times have been hard, because the times have been hard. We've had to watch our teams play, lesser teams, and we've been that, obviously, as I say, that traction, that kind of big sort of fighter like Mike Tyson or something like that. But I'd take that any day. I'd take watching Rangers play any of these lower teams and getting a good day out, a good laugh with your friends, and even with the opposition, with the other team, you know what I mean? Like, you still get a good wee gig and a good wee laugh from them. They know that the beauty of football is, as they keep saying, is MD can beat MD on their given day, and that is the beauty in it. How many times did we when we were down, get beat or concede goals to teams that, and previously we would think, nah, we shouldn't. Why are we conceding to them? I don't know. I just feel like, man, it is crazy. It's just crazy times, and to think that this has clearly been in the plans for years and nobody's stopped it. As I keep saying, it's just greedy businessmen. That's all it is.
That is all it is. Greed at the highest level. And I personally feel that who would get through what Rangers have been through in the last 10 years for the English leagues and stuff like that. Like, if they're having the amount of uproar that they are, like, how would anybody be able to suffer what we suffered throughout the years? And then obviously this year it's been tremendous.
There's a reason why last night Leeds United they earned at tops, because Leeds earned their place in the Premiership for Championship, League One, all the way back up. There's a reason why they were the tops, is because they've earned their place in the Premiership. For these, I don't know, man. It's just these clubs, man. I really just can't believe that these clubs would actually be so selfish and greedy, as I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is, but I suppose It's all about St Johnstone, mate. That's what it's all about, mate. To be honest with you,
As
for us.
we'll wrap up this whole section because I feel like we could go on and off talk about this all day. But where you personally said the any team can beat any team in a given day, we've seen it this season when we never thought we'd get beat off St Mirren. It happened. So things can happen.
Exactly.
It's wild in football. So aye, we'll keep an eye on this as much as we can. I've been watching Sky Sports as much as I can. I know you have as well to get the most news about it, to see what's
Religiously.
developing. Aye, so hopefully
Just been
this
watching.
doesn't
Listen,
happen.
I've been watching all my YouTubers. Every single one of them. Your Who Is He's, all of them. Been watching them all because I prefer to listen to those guys than some dafty and Sky Sports with a fake tan looking down the lens and reading a script. They're more likely to give you passion and all that compared to the Sky Sports boys. But as you're saying, talk about St Johnstone now.
Aye, we'll go on to St Johnstone then. Weird having a midweek game in the week again. It's been a while. Slavia Prague, I think, was the last time we actually played midweek. So it's good to obviously get back on that. 2 games a week again. Going into this one, I feel it's pretty much like every other league game now. Just don't lose. We go into it again. Great form after the restart and stuff like that, after winning the league. Great win at the weekend. We should be full of confidence going up there. We beat them 3-0 the last time. We were at Perth. Hadji, Roof, and Glenn Kamara scored actually in the night. So I feel it's time. I feel like this is a game to give a few players that haven't been getting much game time a chance. Scott Wright, I feel like is a stick on to start. I feel like Roof might lead the line. And you might see Cedric Eaton as well. I want to see him a bit more again towards the end of the season. But how do you feel going into this one? Do you feel rotation coming into it?
I definitely do feel rotation, as you're saying there. Obviously beat them 3-0 last time, but as I say, football, anybody can beat anybody on a given day, and that's the beauty in it. For me, I'd like to see Scott play. I do feel like Keema probably should play this game. For me, as you're saying, probably rotate the squad. Feel like likes of Patterson will definitely keep their place. Maybe bring my lad, well, my boy Calvin Bassey back into it. He's earned that name. He's earned that title back, Jack. He's now my boy again. So I'd maybe like to see Calvin Bassey maybe get a chance in this game. I thought Barisic wasn't his best in that old firm, to be honest with you. I don't know what it is with him, but just for me, I probably think he was at his best that game. Centre back pairing, I don't know. I'd probably just keep the same two, McGregor in the goals. But I would only make 3 or 4 changes really. Maybe keep the same midfield, and that to think that Stephen Davis could. That's what I'm on about. Just what a brilliant midfielder that he can play so many games this season at his age. It's just sensational, and I hope Arfield can start getting himself back into it. As we're saying, that injury did really sort of change him. It's sort of like getting hit with a car. You know what I mean? Your dog's never the same after it gets hit with you know what I mean, right? You know what I'm talking about. Aye.
I feel like you're pretty bang on with your prediction of that. I hope we find out the verdict of the whole Rangers 5 COVID incident. That is still, believe it or not, happening. The appeal will be happening this week at some point. So it might come when you're listening to this podcast before the actual game that they are banned or whatever. But for now, day of recording, I feel like Bassey, Patterson could very well be involved. Guy Barisic arrest. I feel Goldson, Hollander will stay pretty much in there. I think Balogun's still injured actually. Midfield 3, I feel possibly stays the same as well. We've not got much in terms of midfielders at the moment. With Ryan Jack obviously out. But highlighting Stephen Davis, he's just unbelievable this season again. I think I expect him to start. He plays at a high level every single time he's on the pitch. 36-year-old, scoring overhead kicks last game. So happy he'll be in there. But I feel like the front 3 will be the majority of the changes. I feel Roof. I'd like to see Cedric Eaton. I don't know if he'll start the game though. And I'd like to see Scott Wright in there. So I feel like for the league game, again, it's important to give people game time. It's important to obviously not lose. We want to go in this unbeaten season. So we're so close to doing it. Let's go and do it now, and I'm looking forward to tomorrow's game to hopefully see a few different faces on the pitch. So, I feel like that's the league game wrapped up. We've no get much in terms of play for apart from the unbeaten record at the moment in the league. It's just about, as I say, getting players minutes, winning the game, and moving on to which will be the cup game against St Johnstone again. So a week on for beating Celtic, will be playing St Johnstone in the cup. The priority now has to be this season is going and winning this cup quarter final, obviously, against St Johnstone. St Johnstone were one each in trophies this year so far. St Johnstone obviously picking up the League Cup as well, so one each in terms of trophies. How do you see? I feel it'll be a different game entirely to the League one. How do you feel the cup game going? Because St Johnstone will be up for it, definitely.
But I do think they'll be up for it. I would say for me, there's more chance of them winning. Obviously, their home tie compared to us, because just the Ibrox this season, as we've said, we've just been phenomenal. And I kind of see MD really beating us at Ibrox. I've got. I think, when is after the quarters? When is the semis? Like, when is the semi-finals?
I believe currently the way it's been worked is that every weekend now till the end of the season. So obviously we played the round of 16, and then we go into the quarterfinals the week after. I feel like the next week again is going to be the semi-final, and then the final the week after. So it's a really condensed cup campaign this year for us.
So I hate to hang me off St Johnstone, but who see if we win the game? Who can we draw? Who's the potential? Has the draw been done or
no, the draw will be done, I think, either a day prior or on the day of the St Johnstone game. But Aberdeen are still in there. St Mirren, Kilmarnock, Hamilton. They're never in the cup. Hibernian and Motherwell. All of them are still in.
Sorry, I started shaking when you talked about Aberdeen there, because they've got that new manager who's got such great ideas, and obviously for his time at the MLS. Wally, I was reading about him the other day, man. Just sounds like an utter Wally, him. Mm-hmm. See, I can't wait to play him at the end of the season. That's a team I look forward to. Honestly, I reckon I hate to give score predictions and that, but I reckon we'll get a good couple into them. I tell you that right now. I feel that. I'll get that one. But back to St Johnstone, mate. No, I just feel like these games are going to be competitive games. As you said, Scott, 2 or 3 of their players should be called up for Scotland. It was is it right? The defenders in it, was it Rooney and
Rooney and Jason Kerr? I feel that are maybe in contention for Scotland call-ups, definitely.
And they've just won a cup as well, so they're definitely going to be a difficult game. And honestly, I look forward to playing the kind of games, because I'd rather play St Johnstone on the Wednesday and obviously in the cup on Sunday again than us play Real Madrid on the Wednesday, and then on the Saturday maybe go to Chicago, Illinois, and have CM Punk announce that we're playing Barcelona or something.
I know, 100%. I agree with you there. St Johnstone, I'm looking really forward to this cup game again. Full strength it has to be for the team. I think it will be the same team that started against Celtic going into this one. And I'm just excited. I'm excited to hopefully go and make a stamp on a cup competition that we've been really poor in since Gerrard's took over. Let's not beat around the bush with that. We've fallen short in every cup we've went into. So I hope this is the start really now dominating these cups and getting through. We've obviously got enough to go and beat St Johnstone, but they will be a really tough opponent. They're very stubborn and they can hurt you at times when you give them chances. Obviously, winning that cup, they know how to win cup competitions. So it's going to be a good game. And do you feel majorly the same with the team going full strength?
Yeah, I do. There's only sort of, for me, I hate to hang me, but for me, I've not really been hanging with Glenn the last couple of games. For me, I think Kamara's been a bit off it, but I understand if maybe outside's affecting. But I hope it. I feel like he's not been at his best. The usual to see for Glenn, but obviously he'll pick that back up. But I obviously just expect a decent performance. I know you're more worried about going unbeaten in the league than I'm more concerned about the game at the weekend. But as I say, just got to get that W, got to get that win. That's the main thing, mate.
Nah, and I hope when we're talking next week, we're hopefully previewing a semi-final. So here's hoping, because we really need to start, and this is a perfect opportunity now to go and win this cup. So I'm looking forward to it. I feel like that's the episode wrapped up. We've talked about pretty much everything, Rangers-wise and Super League-wise, but I'm going to come to you as always. Is there anything else you would like to touch on?
There is, just when you brought up the bands there, the 5 bands thing there for the game. For myself here, I've got a question for you, just regarding Zungu. That obviously it's a loan, but see next season, would you take him if there's a chance you can get better than Zungu, which I believe there is a chance Rangers could get better players than Zungu. Would you take him? I'm just curious.
Personally, for what I've seen,
Has he done enough for you, mate?
Personally, for what I've seen from him, and the limited opportunities that he's gave, I've not seen much in way we should go and pay for him to be in the team. But on the flip side, I think we've seen near enough for him at all. We've seen him feature for about 5 minutes at the end of a game. Sometimes he started a few that we haven't been at our best performance-wise as a team, not just him personally. So I feel that it's one that I'll always try and sort of bring out, because I wanted to see the best of Bongani Zungu when they signed him. I was excited. He came for the French League, South African International. I feel like he could have offered us a lot, but just with the way it's went with the whole COVID situation as well, with no playing games when he has featured, we've played poor. I feel like I just wish it worked out better for the guy, to be honest with you. I don't have any hard feelings towards him at all, but I can't see us really go out and pay like any amount of money for him. I'm happy he's here in the season. We've won the league. He's contributed in his own way to doing that, and every single player, no matter how many minutes they played, will write their place in history for us. So, it's just he's one of them I don't really see materialising. I think he'll go and do his own thing. I don't think he'll be at Rangers next season.
No, it's just for me. It's kind of the same as the boy Jared brought in. It was his first season. When it was his name, he came for the French league and all.
Oh, Koulibaly, aye.
What was his name again? I forgot. But for me, it's that kind of same signing. As you say, it's maybe a bit unfair to hang him because we haven't seen enough of him. I don't agree when people try and blame when we've had a bad game when he's played on him, because that's not fair. Everyone's not had a good game, not just him. I do feel like he is a decent player, but just for me, I just feel like I feel like we could get better, to be honest with you, and I'm still a bit. I just feel like he's up here for a party, to be honest with you. Do you know what I mean? I'd be the same, but see if I'm not playing, I'm away having a party. I'm telling you, listen, I play for Rangers, by the way, just no, I'm only joking. I wouldn't. But I just think he's a decent player, but I think we can get better.
Nah, and I feel that is the way it is. We can get better, obviously. We're getting better every season now. We're winning leagues and stuff like that. So I feel that we'll get better than Zungu. But I personally feel, even if he is available, maybe stick him in for a game or two, as we're pretty bare in midfield options at the moment. He's the reserve midfielder, so maybe we'll chuck him in. I don't know. But I just like to see maybe a bit more of him, because ever since that whole situation happened, nothing ever really happened. A couple of minutes here and there for him, but I guess that's his own problem at the end of the day for what he did. But I quite enjoyed that question, actually. I've got strong feelings towards that situation.
Well, so I'd ask it, to be honest with you, but no.
Is that anything else you would want to ask?
Can't play against
No, Glenn Middleton.
I'm just asking if we Glenn Middleton.
No, Glenn Middleton. He's a cup tied or whatever. He can't play due to still being contracted to Rangers, so he'll be missing for that side. He scored to get them into the top six. He scored to get them into the top six through who can't remember who they played, but he scored that goal that got them there. So he's played his part, but I don't feel that he's played really enough in a St Johnstone side.
Aye. No, I was just asking that, man.
I like that we couple of questions there to round off the episode. It's been a pretty emotional episode, if you say so, with the middle portion of the Super League and stuff like that. But we've put our thoughts, opinions out there. Let us know what you think. Tweet us your opinions on it. I've made my feelings pretty strong on the Twitter page with it. So
yeah. I just thought, Jack, they've announced the song for it. They've announced the song for the Super League. They're going to be using Shane McMahon's "Here Comes the Money." Just thought
that's it. I'm guessing you've seen that one as well. Some of the memes that have came for this whole situation's been class. That's the thing you need to take away from it. The internet still makes you laugh at times.
The best ones have been hang with the Super League with WWE storylines, and it's like, Haaland to Rashford with Heath Slater and Brock Lesnar. I don't care about your case. It's good ones on it, man.
I think my favourite one was the presentation of the Manchester Derby, and it's Harry Maguire drawn the Disney Channel thing. I thought that was hilarious. Just some of the things you see online are funny. So that's the one thing keeping my spirits up with football at the moment, is that, and Rangers, of course. So that's the episode. If you enjoyed the podcast, make sure to like the video on YouTube, subscribe to our channel, and follow the socials on the screen. If you listen on Spotify as well, share it about wherever else you can for us. That would be much appreciated. So we'll be back tomorrow night on the YouTube channel with a review of the St Johnstone game in the league. So stay tuned to our channel for that. Until then, cheers.